And we are back. Welcome to Wednesday's Ebony Excellence series here on Rastus Realities. Thank you once again for joining me. Hit the like, share, subscribe buttons as it helps the channel grow, and growth is good. While playing Ghost of Tsushima, a video game, a particular stage of the game called the Ghosts of the Past. The mission included various trips down memory lane for Jin, the main protagonist. During most of the mission, Jin would have long talks with the woman that cared for him throughout his youth. She filled in missing parts of his memories that either he forgot or had no knowledge of. It reminded me of my talks with my grandmother. It put my mind in a reminiscent state. That said, here on Rastus Realities Ebony Excellence series, and in the spirit of ghosts, I will speak on matters close to my heart, mind, and spirit as it relates to the aforementioned video game. From what I recollect, I have always been a Scot, and speaking with my granny, I found some information about the family tree, of which consisted of the Scots, the Trices, and the Lowerys. Sadly, due to not having the understanding of the ramifications of not deeply inquiring more about my family tree, my granny, aunt, and a couple of uncles left the living, taking hordes of much-needed information with them. To this very day and seconds, I regret not being more proactive in family history. So, this is my shout-out to my family, the tree, and Rastus history. For most of my life, I lived with my mother, 2 brothers, mice, roaches, and anything that a decrepit building had to offer. And I loved every moment of it. I know that sounds crazy, but it molded me in ways that being well off could never do. Those days and times in the 80s and 90s gave birth to a term that some take for granted at one time or another. And that term is appreciation. Appreciation for the good, bad, and indifferent. Appreciation for all family, friends, and other associates, no matter their issues, as I had mine as well. When one appreciates those types of days and times with just enough to live, it makes things greater later when moving into adulthood themselves. I went to high school with my first job, a paper route that I worked year-round. Check out the video in the description and or the comment section, as that story is there as well. And as a result of those moments during the 80s, I understood the value of a dime, a dollar, and how to exercise them, meaning stretch it. Cutting a switch, which meant grandma would enlist me to go cut my own switch to get switched. That was my term for capital punishments when my granny would do the switching. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who have had the task of cutting their own switch to get whooped with. or my mother sitting on my upper body to whoop my lower body. Getting caught in Toys R Us, stealing Transformers. To the family reunions in Michigan and Arkansas. Visiting my aunt on Maryland. and my cousins who lived in the same proximity of my aunt. My Aunt Rose was a very protective person, and she was protective of my safety, as the area of 47th Street here in Chicago and the surrounding area was rough. I used to get upset that I could not visit more, of which my Aunt Rose would explain that it was dangerous to be in the area for someone of my kind, meaning a homebody that read books, rode bikes and skateboards, and learned how to cook, and knew the value of $1 and the value of working fairly early. Talking with my Uncle Sid, or Big Sid, gave me a wonderful feeling, and especially around the 4th of July, as Uncle Sid would have what seemed like an unlimited supply of fireworks. Traveling with my grandmother to her sister's places, which included trips to Aunt Ophelia's place as well, which was around, if memory serves, around Operation Push's headquarters here in Chicago. They were truly great times. Almost everything that I've mentioned thus far and more has been published in earlier videos here on this channel. Check them out. My Ebony family provided varying degrees of memories and seeds of the very man that you see and hear. Removed fear through comfort. Stunted no growth, traditional for sure. I even remember the babysitter, Mrs. Ford, who lived in our building and did not play any games. And her food was so fulfilling. 65th and University, 67th and Marquette, though two different streets, all in one building, my family proceeded to provide much-needed memories. Salute to them all, friends, family, and you as well for listening to Rasta's Reality for this Ebony Excellence series. If you would like to be featured or nominate someone on the series of Ebony Excellence, the contact information is in the description below. And if you're new to the channel and enjoy the content, please subscribe, like, and share, and tap that bell to all to be notified when I go live. And it also helps the channel grow, and as I say, growth is good. For my loyal listeners who are subscribed, I appreciate you more than you know. I am Rasta Akil Bomani for the Ebony Excellence series here on Rasta's Realities. And until next week, peace to you.